Welcome to ChampionsHeart. You can't play boxing. Featuring boxing addict Johnny Faraće and friends from superfans to superstars. Let's roll.
And I have a treat for you today. I have with me light heavyweight prospect boxing promoter Blake Bad Davis. How you doing, Blake?
What's up, Johnny? How you doing?
My man, doing good. We're all obviously on COVID lockdown here. How you making through during this this time of uncertainty, as they say?
I'm all right, man. I'm doing what I can. You know, been working out, been doing a lot of strength and conditioning. Been doing my running. Just started getting back in the gym. I actually start sparring tomorrow, so I'm ready to go, man. I'm looking forward to fighting again.
Nice, getting back to punching people in the face. That's what I'm talking about. That's
Yep.
right. So I want to give the fans that you're an up and coming, obviously not only like heavyweight boxer, but you also started your own promotional company at a young age. So let's reel it all the way back. How'd you get into boxing, my man?
Well, I was about 17 years old, and I got jumped at a house party. I got jumped real bad. They beat me up inside, then I made it outside. And they beat me up outside. There was like 10 of them. Got to a point where I actually had a button-down shirt on, kind of like the one I'm wearing. And it actually kind of got taken off halfway. My arms were stuck in it, and they were still wailing on me. So they jumped me inside, they jumped me outside. Finally, I made it. I ran through the house, ran to the Hummer that I showed up there in, and they dragged me out the Hummer and stuff. So. That just motivated me to want to defend myself. And if that ever happened again, I want to be able to take everybody kind of like a superhero. And
What age was that?
That was when I was like 17.
Mm-hmm.
And, I didn't even expect to compete. I just started training just so I can get all those kids back.
For revenge, huh?
Yeah. And just so I could, protect myself in the streets by myself against as many people as there is,
Right.
And it just turned into something that I just grew into, and I haven't stopped. So,
Well, speaking quickly of your amateur career, you grew quickly into that. Tell them about your first 4 amateur fights.
well, that's actually where I met you.
Yes, sir.
Jeff Porras, my head trainer. He took me out to the Ringside World Championships because we couldn't get any fights locally. I was a pretty well-known fighter from sparring that a lot of people didn't want to fight me in the novice division as an amateur, So my first fight, I had to go fight in the Ringside World Championship. And my first fight, I dropped a guy in the first round. Ended up fighting 4 days in a row, won all 4, and, took home the title and just been growing and climbing the ladder ever since and just keep improving, and eventually made it to Olympic team and, decided to turn pro, last year. And then I opened my own promotions, and we, opened that up with a boom. And, I went back to my roots. I said, who can I use for, to be my right-hand man to help me out? And you were one of my first choices. And obviously we're doing our thing with that. So.
Absolutely so, my man. I really appreciate you bringing me aboard. Having a lot of fun with it. Obviously, this COVID-19 threw us all for a super loop. For those that didn't know, we had our first show on January 17th in Hallandale Beach, Florida, at the Gulfstream Park inside the Kings of Night Theater. It was an amazing night. We sold the show out. There was 8 great bouts on the fight. You fought. You were co-headliner. It was certainly an amazing night. And on the strength of that, we weren't even really able to announce what we built off of that show. And what that was is we actually strung together a whole series of shows throughout the end of the year. We filled the calendar up, and then we just signed a contract with Fight TV for broadcasting and distribution. And then, boom, COVID-19.
Yep, that's exactly what happened.
Yeah. So as a matter of fact, we had a show, and that's that one right there, which was March 20th at the same location, of course. That was going to be on Fight TV. Literally had to pull the plug like 3 days before the show. It was heartbreaking, wasn't it?
Definitely heartbreaking, man.
Yeah.
That was definitely heartbreaking.
But you know what? In the true champion's heart spirit, in the true spirit of a fighter, we always, we're truly defined through adversity. So obviously, we're going to find a way, and we are finding a way. Matter of fact, we're talking and working right now and setting up our next string of shows very soon. Actually, we'll have an announcement very soon. But tell us, I want to kind of dig a little more into the mindset of a fighter during a time, unprecedented time like this, and where you have to keep yourself mentally here, knowing you always got to stay ready. Like your phenomenal coach Kevin says, always stay ready. You always got to stay ready. So talk a little bit to keeping your mindset straight during this time to focus on, the bright side.
Well, I mean, I think it's been hard for everybody, being locked down, not being able to go out, not really socializing, and kind of just keeping to yourself has, I think it's mentally challenging for everybody. You kind of just were forced to deal with and battle your own emotions. And I think the best way to deal with that is with exercise. And that's what I've been doing, man. I run, I work out, I'm still training. So I'm just, just fighting through it and looking for the brighter day to come. So.
Yeah, which should hopefully come sooner than, I don't know about later, but it looks like, today is actually the first day we live here in Florida that we've officially entered phase 1 today. So hopefully as the timeline goes, they're like 14 days of clearance or whatever, hopefully. And then as we're viewing right now, hopefully a show possibly the end of June, if not mid-July, but we're working on putting, all the details, for that together. And it's kind of hard to, keep everyone updated when there's so much uncertainty in life, Champ, huh?
Yeah, that's for sure.
Right. Let's talk a little bit about your team, because you've certainly have surrounded yourself with some great, not only fighters in boxing, but in UFC, but your coaches, Jeff Porras, your coach, Kevin Gleason, who I'm a fan of both those guys, obviously. Go ahead.
Yeah, well, Jeff Porras, like I said, my first gym I went to was Sweatbox, and Jeff came into there, and his fighter at the time was Dustin Arnold, and something just interested me about this guy, and I wanted someone to give me some serious training, and I kept asking him, hey, what do you want me to do? What do you want to do? He kind of didn't want to train me at first, and I was just doing everything he told me to do. And eventually he gave me the opportunity, and we just, we've been building ever since, man. We've stayed close, and Kevin Gleason, he ended up coming to Sweatbox too. And I just, everyone that's come around me, that I saw was, good peoples and really loved the sport and knew what they were doing. I kind of just, brought them on board, and we just, me, Kevin, and Jeff, we've been together a long time now, and, we built a good system between the three of us. We're just a great team for all around boxing, fighters, coaches, everything, We're very close. I love them to death. It's bigger than boxing. They're family to me, Jeff and Kevin, So, yeah, I'm very happy with, my support system.
And it certainly shows too. If anyone's seen you fight live, they see a huge support around you, not only with your team, your solid team you have there, but with your fan base that you have built down here in South Florida in a short time. In just 5 fights, you're able to sell out, theaters, and you're able to really have an adoring fan base that's following and really looks up to you. And you're doing a lot of great things. 25 years old. You're a young pro getting into the game. You're surrounding yourself with great people, and you're thinking about the big picture. And I really respect that about you, and that's why I like working with you, Champ.
I'm trying to build a future outside of fighting too. I don't want to, if I'm done fighting or God forbid something happens to me, that my life is, not going to be the best. I'm looking forward to, a life after boxing. So I'm trying to set myself up for a bright future, whether it's boxing, without boxing. But obviously, as of now, my main goal is to be a fighter,
Right.
Obviously, I want to have other opportunities too.
Right. Well, I love how you're setting the plate for you, the bigger picture, and I'm, beyond boxing. But let's talk quickly about, obviously you and I have been talking a lot and working in the background feverishly with, different people putting together our next string of shows, and how it's going to be different now, because the new reality is the new reality. This is something that we're all going to have to deal on. And boxing is a sport where a lot of live events is where a lot of these younger boxers get to see their careers progress with these fights. Now, what we're going to be able to do here in South Florida with bad promotions, and we're going to have local fighters, a lot of local fighters down here, a lot of great fighters that are going to be seen and making names for themselves. However, a lot of it's going to be on broadcast rather than live venue seating.
Yeah, unfortunately, it looks for at least maybe another 2 months that we won't have. Obviously, we probably won't be able to sell tickets and have a gate for people to, that are welcome to come watch the fights in person. So, like you said, we've been talking. We're just trying to figure out ways that we can do this with just pay-per-view streaming. So that's what, obviously me and you've been up to that. I can't speak too much of what's going on, but
right. Well,
yeah, that's what we're up to.
Yeah, we'll definitely have announcements soon, and like us all, we've definitely been clouded by this thing called COVID-19, which is changing everyone's life. But kind of like I mentioned before, we're truly defined through adversity, and what doesn't kill us makes us stronger. And just like in a boxing ring, we're not going to take a couple shots and take a knee. We're going to stand up and win, right?
Yeah. Besides the huge economic impact, COVID is having, and the negative effects it's having, financially on a lot of people and just the whole world in general, it's really a disaster in that perspective. But in other perspectives, you drive through my neighborhood or any, I live in Cooper City, Davie. You drive around 5, 6, 7 o'clock, at the sunset, and you see a lot of people out there running, riding bikes, families biking together. So there is definitely some positive impacts. You see a lot of families getting more leisure time together, and definitely more people exercising and enjoying just nature and being outdoors. So I feel like it's made a lot of people appreciate things a lot more,
And it's too bad it took something like this to make people appreciate the good things. But you're right. It definitely extended beyond just the negative things that everybody's kind of pointing out. Of course, the economical impact that it's having is going to be devastating to us all for a long time.
Yeah, it's really not a good thing. But it's out of our control. So
it is out of our control. All we could do is just keep planning for our future the best we can, and keep positive mindset, and keep knowing, hopefully a year from now we'll look back and say, well, that was a bump in the road we got past, right?
Yeah, I hope so, man. Hopefully this is over sooner than later. This is, the longer it goes on, the worse the chain reaction is going to be. So, hopefully this gets over soon. We just need to get back to work. That's the most important thing. I do believe that we do need to open up, and I believe people need to go out at their own risk. I don't think we should totally shut down. Maybe, at first it was a good thing just to make people realize, what is out there. But now that everyone's aware, I think, we take precautions, but we gotta get to work. Things gotta open up, and we gotta get money flowing again. We can't just stand still, So.
I agree. Hopefully that happens sooner than later. Like I said, today is kind of a first step for us here in Florida, kind of in that direction. So let's help, and another step in that direction is tomorrow you get to punch someone in the face.
Yeah, that's right. I'm
the first time, right?
So yeah, my first sparring session in probably maybe a month or two, since the whole quarantine. So maybe 2 months. I don't know.
That's almost exactly the same for everybody, and why it's going to take at least 5+ weeks for people to get back in the ring. Because sparring is such an intricate, huge part of your training that, you cannot, I wouldn't risk any fighter going in without the proper sparring. But
I'm in tremendous shape, man. Like I said, I've been running, I've been hitting the bag and training, doing my strength and conditioning, but there's no, you can't mimic sparring and fighting. So we'll see how much I really am in shape tomorrow.
How you guys doing on toilet paper?
We're loaded up with toilet paper, man. We're
good. Yeah, we did pretty good too, actually.
I got my neighbors, so.
Nice. Nice. Hey, Chan, let everybody know where they can get a hold of you.
How they can get a hold of me?
Get a hold of you. Yeah, your Instagrams and your.
My Instagram is baddavis954.
Mm-hmm.
Facebook is just Blake Davis. Obviously, the promotional page, the Instagram is Bad Promotions, and it's Bad Promotions on Facebook too. So yeah, if you want to give me a follow, just go on Instagram and follow baddavis954. I stay pretty active on the Instagram with my stories and all that. So if you really want to get a detailed, interaction with me or try to talk to me, just follow me on Instagram.
Absolutely. And also, if you want to get a great look at our phenomenal night in January on Bad Promotions, at Bad Promotions on Instagram, there's a ton of great photos and videos on there, and videos of you. And what a night that was.
That was. I mean, I know it's my own show or our own show, but that was the best show I've ever been to, man. That was.
Had a lot of people talking. It really did,
and it's not just me saying that. It's like everyone in the boxing world. So we made a lot of noise, man. I think we set the standard, and we set a new standard. We set the bar real high for the up and coming shows, and a lot of other promotions are trying to do it theater style like us now. So we definitely made some noise, man. So hopefully we just keep progressing and growing. Hopefully this COVID didn't affect just overall revenue when boxing is back to normal.
It's going to be different, but we make adjustments just like in the ring. It's like in the ring, you see something in front of you, you got to adjust a little bit, we're going to make adjustments, that's all. But the most important message here is we'll be back.
Oh yeah, that's for sure, man.
All right, Blake Bad Davis, thank you, my man. I appreciate you chatting with me today. Okay, we'll catch up soon, right?
Sure. Yeah. I'll talk to you later, buddy.
All right, man.
Thank you.
Peace.